Maj-Lis. Hi, Maj-Lis. Okay, friends, hello. Welcome to some Flow 1 today. I'm still going to give it a couple minutes so people can continue to jump on and join us, but I got Bill here helping me out. If you do happen to have some props at home, a couple of blocks maybe, if you don't have a belt, a strap, you could certainly use a literal belt if you want to go grab one, because we do warm up the hamstrings for the peak posture in this sequence. So and we really just use it for the beginning of practice. So grab one for yourself, and we'll get started here in a moment. My name is Kristen. I'll be guiding you through your practice. And the way we begin this sequence is actually on our back in constructive rest. So as you lie down, and I wanted to make mention of one thing from the video I made yesterday, that on Facebook, things get reversed. So I'll be saying right, it'll look like Bill's doing his left, and then same reverse. So if it gets confusing, just listen to my cues, and that should guide you to where you need to go. So constructive rest, you bend your knees, and you take your feet as wide as the edges of your mat, and your knees come together to touch. Now, I'm a big fan of one hand to heart, one hand to belly in this pose, especially as we set up the Ardha Pranayama. And it can just really give you that sensation of the breath moving through all parts of the lungs. I like to also call it 3-compartmental breath. So seal your lips, empty anything that's in you now. And when the inhale happens, feel your belly rise. Your hand will rise too. When your belly's completely full, feel your rib cage expand out to the sides of the room. And when that midsection's full, feel your chest rise as well, the hand will lift. And then exhale, empty from the top portion of your lungs, through the midsection, down to the bottom. And just nice and slow, repeat this several times. When the inhale takes place, fill your belly to its fullest capacity. And then rib cage expands, that region becomes full, and then the chest will lift. When you can no longer fill up with air, you'll empty through your chest, through the midsection, down through your belly. So a couple more just like this. Nice, deep breaths. And then the breath might be audible too, that's great. Keep it going throughout your entire practice. Now, just because you begin moving, don't lose this structured breath that you've cultivated. Keep the breath going and find your strap or your belt. If you don't have one, you can just extend the leg. So right leg will go straight up. Supta Padangusthasana with the strap. That means you take the strap around the ball of your right foot, so just behind the toes. And then just a little bit of movement here, maybe some circular movements in each direction. Sometimes little tiny pulses can feel nice. Now, if you are tight in your hamstrings already, or if you have any injuries in that region, then just keep your knees soft. And then take the strap into your right hand. Left hand to the top of your left hip. And then guide your leg over to your right, as far as it'll go. And you'll feel it stop, then you stop. And then the hand on your left hip is just to ensure that it stays rooted to the floor and has a tendency to want to lift off the mat. Take 2 more cycles of breath. And after those 2 breaths are complete, leg comes back through center. You may want to switch out the strap into your opposite hand. And then take your leg across your body. Just guide it. And it doesn't have to actually go too far. We're trying to access IT band here. So once you feel that sensation, you can stop. So it's not quite a twist just yet. We'll do lots of twists already this morning. Take 2 more breaths. And then after the 2 breaths, back to center. I think the easiest way to switch out the legs is to part the strap and then slide both balls of your feet into the strap. And then you'll remove the bottom leg, the right leg. And then again, just a little bit of movement here, circles, little pulses. Again, being compassionate with the hamstrings, especially early in the morning. And once again, keep the breath steady and even in pace. As the strap comes into your left hand and then left leg goes to the left as far as it'll go. And when it stops, you stop. And just note if that right hip wants to pull off the mat, keep it grounded. Take 2 more full breaths right here. And then nice and easy, come back to center, perhaps take the strap into the opposite hand, and you'll just mildly take the leg across to get into the out seam of your left leg. Take another cycle of breath. And then as you come back to center, part the strap again with both hands. I think this is not only fun, but just an easy way to get yourself up to seated. Both balls of your feet into the strap once again. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, use the weight of your legs and gravity to sit up into an assisted forward fold. And you're not trying to force the fold here, right? Guide yourself down. Again, you can have a bend in the knees. And then that's really the only plans that we have scripted for the strap. But if you think you might need it at any point in time, just have it nearby, maybe fold it up, have it near the top of your mat, and make your way towards tabletop position. Hands and knees to the floor. Part your knees about hips width. Wrists and elbows under shoulders. On the inhale, cow pose, drop your belly. Look up, lift your head, lift your tailbone. And on the exhale, round your spine. Push into the earth and move towards your thighs. Good, and again, inhale, cow pose. Open through your chest. Lift your head and tailbone. Exhale, cat pose. Round your spine. Very nice. So you get the idea, I'm sure. Find an oppositional movement. Inhale to find the extension of the spine. And exhale to find a bit more flexion. But I also encourage any organic, intuitive movement you want to add in here. Get into your hips, your ribs, your head, your neck, your shoulders. Remember, all the while, keeping the breath steady. Once you feel a bit more mobile through your spine, make your way back to center. So kind of a neutral spine. You're not in cat, you're not in cow. For thread the needle, on your inhale, reach the left arm out and up towards the sky. And on the exhale, sweep left arm under right. Place the left side of your head all the way to the floor. And if it doesn't meet the floor, find something to support your head. If you have a block right, maybe you can just grab your nearest blanket, just so that there's connection there. Your head's not hanging. If you want to go deeper, you can do a half bind where your right arm goes around your low back. So some options there for you. 2 more breaths. And then you'll do the same thing second side. So as you're ready, move with the breath. Tabletop first. Exhale everything in. And then breath in, right arm reaches out and up. And exhale, take it underneath you. And then find a similar shape to the first side, so half bind or any specific movement that you took on. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And once you feel pretty even from right to left, once again back to center, tabletop position. If you need some more cow and cat or other movement, go there first, but we'll move towards our downward facing dog pose, and we'll set up the alignment in plank. So Bill will come into a really strong plank, as if he's about to do a push-up. He's engaged in that space between his shoulder blades, reaching forward through the crown of his head and powering back through the heels. Don't move your hands, don't move your feet. Exhale, simply lift your hips up and back. Ardha Chandrasana. Check that your feet are hips width apart and that you really reach through your arms. You're not just dumping the weight into your shoulders. Reach through the arms. If you'd like, you can pedal out your legs. And especially if you are still tight, even with the work we did with the strap, tight through the back of the legs, soft bend in your knees is always fine. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, begin to walk or step yourself all the way to the top of your mat into a simple forward fold, Uttanasana. And here you can have your hands on blocks if you'd like, or your ragdoll arms. Sometimes I like to add in some knee bends, again, especially if you're tight behind the legs. Movement with the torso, side to side. Movement with your head and neck. Hang heavy here for 2 more breaths. And on your next exhalation, allow your hands to come to the floor. Keep a soft bend in your knees as you stand up for this first time. Inhale, press into your feet and reach your arms towards the morning sky. Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, hands to heart space. Just a grounding breath here. And let's do our sun salutations with side body bends. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. And on the exhale, lean to the right. Your arms can stay overhead or you can drop an arm by your side. That's totally up to you. 1 more breath in. Breath out. And inhale through center. Exhale, go to your left. Take a full cycle of breath here. Inhale, return through center. And when the exhale happens, forward fold, Uttanasana, bow to your practice. On your breath in, halfway lift, chest forward, thigh bones move back. Exhale, refold. Good, now keep the breath here. I like to add in a twist in this first forward fold. Really sets us up for the peak posture. Put a pretty generous bend in the left knee. Big bend in the left knee. Left hand to the floor to a block. Find a halfway lift action with your spine. Lengthen your spine. And then exhale, open and twist to your right. And if you joined me yesterday, I talked about how, especially in twists, the pelvis follows the spine. So it's okay for it to be somewhat unlevel. And then release your hand to the floor. Before you twist, kind of find that halfway lift, a long spine, and then exhale, open to your left. you can certainly use the block. But the focus on twist is not to overly round the spine. You want to keep some length there. That's why I'll keep accentuating that idea of the halfway lift. One more inhalation. And on your exhale, release your hand to the floor. Take another halfway lift here. Inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Pause briefly in your plank. And then we'll do this first chaturanga kind of together. If you're newer to it, you can drop your knees to the floor. Otherwise, knees off the mat. Either way, on or off your knees. Inhale, shift the weight forward a few inches, and then exhale, halfway down. Notice he's not dropping below 90 degrees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of your feet to the mat. Open through your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ardha Chandrasana. A couple breaths here. So you have lots of options for our chaturangas today. If you're overly feeling it in your wrists, your low back, your shoulders, drop to your knees. You can always do just a strong plank and then go to down dog. We always meet in down dog, and you still build some upper body strength here. Take another breath in. And on your exhale, look forward, walk, step, or you can jump to the top of your mat. When you arrive, inhale halfway up, long spine. Exhale, refold. Now we'll just flow through the sun egg. Inhale, stand up. Use your legs, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, press into your feet to reach through your fingertips. Exhale, side body bend to the right. He's flowing with his breath now. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Very nice. Inhale through center. And when the exhale happens, forward fold with Uttanasana. On your breath in, halfway lift, pull your shoulders onto your back, draw your navel in. Exhale, step back, high to mid plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or however you want to arrive to your down dog shape today. And then again on the down dog, really reach through your arms. Take a couple of breaths here. Creating that steady, even cadence, the rhythm throughout the entire practice. On your inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. And exhale, knee to nose. Shift your shoulders forward over your wrist. Excellent. Inhale, right leg high. And on your exhale, step directly in between your hands to a lunge. Sometimes we have to help the foot through, that's fine. But we need to organize front knee so it's directly over your front heel, not knee pushed way forward over the toes. You want the heel to be planted. Then from there, drop your back knee to the mat. I like to use the blocks here too, half splits, straight in front bend. Pull your right toes back. So you do have an option here to kind of to flow a little bit, to go back and forth. Sometimes I prefer to just stay and hold, so I'll leave that up to you. One more breath or one more round of the flow. And then slowly return to the low lunge. You can certainly take the bricks with you. Back knee comes off the earth. Lunge twist, right arm high. Open up. Sometimes that front knee wants to pull away from you. So if that's the case for you, hug your front knee into heart center. And we'll do a little flow here with the twist. Inhale here. And on your exhale, round your spine, pull your arm underneath your hamstrings. Reach towards the side ribs on the left. Two more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round your spine and reach your fingertips towards your left side ribs. And again, breath in. Breath out. And then go ahead and do one more for you. And then release your hands to the mat. Step back, plank, chaturanga of your choice. See if you can keep your knees off the floor in full up dog. so the legs get nice and strong. Let's do the left side. Breath in, left leg up. Breath out, knee to nose. Round through your spine, very nice. Inhale, leg high. When the exhale happens, step all the way in between your hands for a deep lunge. Remember, we're trying to organize knee over heel, and you can use any props you might have. Drop the back knee. Half split, send your hips back. Ardha Chandrasana. And then again, if you chose to do a little bit of flow just for fun, you can do the flow or you can hold. And remember, it's not about a locked out knee. You can have a slight bend in your knee. One more cycle of breath in, maybe one more round if you did the flow. And then return all the way to your lunge. We bend your front knee. Right knee pops off the earth for a lunge twist. Left arm high. And then you still want that strong front leg, knee over heel alignment, and then we'll do that twisting flow. Big breath in. And on the exhale, round your spine, pull your fingertips towards your side ribs. 2 more with your breath. And go ahead and do one more round. Open up. And on the exhale, you'll plant your palms. Step back high to mid-plank. Chaturanga, up dog, down. All right, that's our warm-up before we do the flow. So if at any point you need some water to towel off, be sure you're hydrating, taking care of yourself. And we'll build out our first flow. We'll do 2 flows today. Take a moment if it's needed, and then downward facing dog is where we'll reach through your arms. On your inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. Breath out, knee to nose, pull yourself forward, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, leg high. On your breath out, step all the way in between your hands to a deep lunge. Good. Now a little different, he'll pivot his back heel to the floor about 45 degrees. Be sure you've got an angle going on for warrior 2. On the inhale, lift up, Virabhadrasana 2. So if you did have like an imaginary piece of chalk or a marker in your hand, you'd be able to draw a straight line from your front heel all the way to intersect the back arch. But then squeeze your feet together as if you wanted to create a wrinkle in your mat, in the middle of your mat, as you reach out through your fingertips. Now this will be important in the flow so we can match breath to movement. On your exhale, flip your right palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. So just keep in mind that this is a nice long side body stretch. Sometimes there's a tendency to make it this back bend. You really want to get into the length of the side body without backing out of the lunge. One more breath in, reach way, way back. On the exhale, extended side angle, reach as far as you can reach. Find the length, and then right arm down, left arm high. Root down through the pinky edge side of your back foot. Squeeze right arm, right leg together. And shoulders ideally stacked, left over right. Allow there to be a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. One more full round of breath. On your inhale, reverse a triangle. Straighten your front leg, sweep the right arm back. Legs stay straight and strong here. Legs don't change. Exhale, triangle proper. Really reach forward. Reach, 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 reach. When you can no longer reach, right arm down, left arm high. And you can always put your hand on your shin or on a block if you can't reach the floor. I like to think of my legs here like giant straws. You're trying to lift everything up. We're kind of resisting gravity. One more cycle of breath in. Stay for the breath out. On the inhale, 5-pointed star. Make a giant X shape with your body just for a moment here. And on the exhale, parallel your feet and fold forward with wide legs. Prasarana Pada Tadasana. And we'll add in a twist here. So if you do like to use your block, The block will go on the floor directly underneath your face. And then again, I want to encourage the halfway lift here. So inhale, flat back halfway lift, and then exhale, right arm high. And remember, fine if the pelvis gets a bit unlevel, the pelvis follows the spine. But you still want to keep elongation of the vertebra rather than a rounded spine. And then release your hand to the floor. Find that halfway lift actually. Inhale, long spine. And then exhale, twist, left arm up. Really nice. Couple of breaths more here. And on the exhale, you'll release your hand to the mat. One more time, halfway lift. Breath in, long spine. And then exhale, pivot, turn top of your mat. Chaturanga. Reset here as you reach through your arms. And then we'll do that same work on the second side. Inhale, left leg up. On your breath out, one time knee to nose as you shift shoulders all the way forward over wrists like we do in plank. Inhale, left leg high. And on the exhale, step through to a deep lunge. Once again, pivot the back heel to the floor, 45 degrees, warrior two on the inhale. Come on up here at 2. So the reason we turn the back toes in a little bit at an angle is because his whole back leg is internally rotating, right? Spinning in. But the front leg is externally rotating. Create a nice hip opener. Gaze out and over your left fingertips. Take one more cycle of breath in. On your exhale, flip your front palm. Keep the legs. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Sometimes this front knee has a tendency to collapse inward towards your big toe. See if you can open your front knee a little bit more towards pinky toe. But then simultaneously twist and turn your chest away from the front leg. You've got this. One more inhale, reach way, way back. Legs don't change. Exhale, extended side angle. He'll reach as far forward as he can. And then right arm down. You can use a brick or simply find that leverage of squeezing left arm, left leg together as you spin your torso towards the sky. Really, really nice though. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, reverse triangle. So legs are straight without locking out the knee. Nice side body stretch here. Legs don't change. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Reach forward and down. Yeah. And if you need to shorten or the stance or grab your props, it's fine. But really feel that lift of the muscle and bone of your legs up towards your pelvic floor. And then sometimes the torso tends to swing forward of the legs. See if you can lay your back against an imaginary wall behind you to open your chest. One more breath in. Breath out. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Again, giant X shape with your body. And then from there, you'll parallel your feet and exhale, fold forward with wide legs. And we'll take another twist here in Prasarada. So again, brick if you need it. Left hand down. Find the length, that halfway lift, and then exhale, right arm high, twist. Very, very nice. You could always shorten the stride here or widen the stride. One more breath. And on the exhale, release your hand. One more time, inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine, and then exhale, left arm high, twist. Good. Keeping that length through the spine. One more time. Touch the weight forward towards the balls of your feet, even though heels stay on the mat. And release your hand. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, pivot, turn to the top of your mat. High to mid-plank. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Keep reminding yourself, we always meet in down dog if you need some sort of modification. All right, here's where we get to have some fun. Breath to movement. It'll pick the heart rate up a little bit, but see if you can maintain the length and steady cadence of your breath as you do this work. Inhale the right leg high. Breath out one time, knee to nose. Pull yourself forward. Inhale, leg lifts. Breath out, step all the way through to a lunge. Pivot your back foot to the earth. Breath in, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, flip your front palm. And then inhale, reverse. On your breath out, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse triangle, legs are straight. Breath out, triangle proper. Inhale, star, reach up. On your exhale, parallel your feet, fold down the middle. We'll skip the twist and the flow. But don't forget the halfway lift. Inhale, elongate your spine. And exhale, turn to the top of your mat. Take your vinyasa. Very nice. Reset for a full breath in and out. Now let's do the left side. Breath in, left leg high. Breath out one time, knee to nose. Good, Bill. Inhale, leg high. Exhale, step it through to a lunge. Pivot your back foot to the earth. Inhale, veer two. Hold here as you exhale and flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse. Breath out, extended side angle. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Good. Breath in, reverse your triangle. Legs become straight and stay straight. For Utthita Trikonasana, exhale, reach forward and down. Very nice. Inhale, star. Breath out, fold with parallel feet. Bypassing that twist with a halfway lift. Inhale. And exhale, top of your mat, Chaturanga Dandasana. Very, very nice. All right, that was our first flow. If you do need a moment in child's pose, you can take it, or you can drop to your knees. We'll work forearm plank next. Of course, if you're feeling more ambitious, you can do full plank. But we'll do it for 1 minute. So from your knees, or even from wherever you are, forearms down to the mat. We'll leave in 3, 2, 1 minute here. Lift your knees, power back through your heels, soften your heart forward through the gate of your arms. It's really easy for the hips to pop up here, or sometimes they sink and sag. So really keep them level. And also often the head drops. So continually think crown of your head forward. Find the steady breath. It's what's going to get you through times of challenge on and off the mat. You're over halfway. Hold on. Often I think we don't give our body enough credit for how strong we actually are, for what our body's capable of. So that moment that you want to abandon the posture, see if you can simply take one more breath. Hold on. We've got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then all the way down. You can take Sphinx if you'd like. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on it. Often people like Seal, where your hands go off the mat to the outer corners and then you straighten the arms, soften your glutes. Whatever feels best to release from the 1 minute plank. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog to set up our second breath movement flow. Inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. Exhale again, knee to nose. Inhale, leg high. On the exhale, step all the way through to a deep lunge. Okay. Again, he has front knee over front heel, but the back heel stays lifted this time for your high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent, Anjaneyasana. Now, if you're feeling a bit wobbly or unsteady, be sure you open the stride like you're on a pair of thin train tracks rather than on a tightrope. Press down through the front heel. It won't actually move, but try to drag your front heel to the back of your space. And he's got the back heel really, really high, which I love because that's going to give you a deeper stretch to the front of your left psoas and your quadricep. Let's get in a deeper twist here. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, lean forward and prayer twist to the right. So left elbow to right thigh. So again, with these deeper twists, avoid any roundedness in your spine, even if you have to back out and touch, that's fine. And then see if you can work, just checking with your body. Sometimes the thumbs get up really high towards your armpit. See if you can lift your sternum bone, center of your chest, up to your thumbs. One more cycle of breath. And then on the inhale, rise to crescent, once again, Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, airplane arms and torso. So palms face the earth here. So shoulder blades can come together on your upper back. Notice this nice diagonal line of energy through his backside body. One more deep breath in. Breath out. Nice and controlled here. Inhale, lift to crescent, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Really nice. Go ahead and take a cycle of breath here just to kind of reset, clear the mind, clear the lungs. On your inhale, left leg lifts. Breath out one time, knee to nose. Inhale, leg high. When the exhale happens, step all the way through to your lunge. As you have knee over heel in the front, back heel stays high. Inhale, rise to crescent, Anjaneyasana. And again, yes, the back heel is high, but squeeze in our thighs towards each other. Everything always hugs to the midline of the body, the center of the body, to create stability. Shoulders directly over your hips. And he's kind of wrapped his triceps in here, so palms face each other. Take one more breath in, draw hands to heart space. And on the exhale, tilt forward, prayer twist to your left. Right elbow to left thigh. Now, if you do need a little less, you can certainly drop the back knee to the floor. If this posture just isn't stable, drop the back knee, nothing wrong with it. We really want the twist to be the focus in this pose, especially with the long spine. Remember, not the rounded spine. Take 2 more deep breaths here. On the inhale, press into your front heel to rise, crescent, Anjaneyasana. And breath out, airplane arms. Hover your belly above your front thigh. Again, palms face the earth. Couple more breaths. And then nice and controlled, inhale, rise to crescent. Breath out, hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Couple breaths in your down dog, and we'll do everything we just did with that mindful breath to movement. So if I'm cueing an inhale, and then I say exhale, but you're still inhaling, finish your breath, finish the pose. Inhale, right leg high. Breath out, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, lunge deep. On the inhale, rise to a high lunge crescent. Breath out, deep twist to your right. Inhale, arms reach. When the exhale happens, airplane arms. Inhale, crescent. You got it. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. And if you know it, flow it. If you already know the movement, move at your breath's pace. Left leg lifts. And exhale one time, knee to nose. Leg high. When the exhale takes place, step through in between your hands to a deep lunge. And on the inhale, lift up to crescent. Exhale, deep twist to your left. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, tilt forward, airplane arms. That's it. Inhale, reach, crescent. You got it. Exhale, chaturanga. Couple breaths here. If you need a moment in child's pose, drop to your knees, take a sip of water. We'll start to build out our peak posture of revolved triangle. So it might look fairly simple, but it's huge on the legs, which we've been warming up and stretching the whole time, and it's a really deep twist. So it's important to build this out properly. I think it's helpful to use the 2 blocks. And the blocks have lots of height, so use a block if you'd like. Have them at the top of your mat, if they're not already there. Downward facing dog. On the exhale, Ardha Chandrasana. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high. Breath out, knee to nose again, warming up the core. Good. Inhale, leg lift. Now this time as you exhale, step a little bit more towards your right thumb in your lunge. A little bit more to the right thumb. So you have an open stance here. Pivot your back foot to the earth. Maybe you step it in a little bit for warrior 1. Inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Now you can certainly widen the stride, take the legs further apart. Sometimes the torso will face at a diagonal to your left, and that's okay. But ideally we square it fully forward. Okay, let's build this posture out together. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hands to your hips. Breath in and straighten the front leg all the way. Exhale, forward bend. Okay, here's where your hands can go on the blocks. Maybe this back heel doesn't meet the mat. So if that's the case for you, you just step the back foot in a little bit. You should really already feel it in your legs. Now, it's not about level hips, because remember the pelvis follows the spine. But we do need to take the weight a touch forward. You want to see if you can negotiate definitely equal pressure with both legs, but lengthen the spine first. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, left hand to the block at the pinky edge side of your foot, or if it can meet the floor, awesome. Another halfway lift here, lengthen your spine, and then twist and open. Good. So if I do ride my back leg and take the weight too far back, there's just no room to twist. So when you take the weight forward, you can open up more through your chest. You should really feel this in your legs. You should really feel that deeper twist. Take one more cycle of breath in. And on the exhale, release. That looks amazing, Bill. You can step into down dog, or if you're feeling really ambitious, get in another chaturanga. Reach through your arms. Hear the steady cadence of your breath. And we'll build out second side of revolved trikonasana. Inhale, left leg up. Breath out one time, knee to nose. Inhale, leg high. And on the exhale, lunge again a little bit more towards your left thumb, so we can open the stride right away. And then pivot your back foot down. Maybe you step it in. Usually I have to step mine in. Inhale, bend the front knee, Vira 1, lift up. Virabhadrasana 1. So if you're already feeling strain in the legs, I'm not talking about deep sensation, because we want that deep sensation, but if they're overly straining your legs, step the back foot in. Remember, we have that diagonal with the back foot. It's not parallel. It's at a diagonal. Take a deep breath in. Draw your hands to your hips. Straighten front leg all the way. And then exhale, forward bend in this shape. You can use the blocks. Again, often we have to step the back foot in. Great. Legs are straight there, and we'll build this out together. See if you can, again, negotiate that equal sensation through both legs, because if you're too far back, you won't have any mobility in the twist. So a little bit more forward. Find a halfway lift. We've been talking about this all in practice. A long spine, and then right hand to the pinky edge side of your foot or to a block. Halfway lift one more time, and then open up. That looks amazing. You feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Don't worry about if the pelvis isn't level. And we're not trying to mess with that. It's trying to follow the spine. They're connecting. 2 more cycles of breath. This is a tough one, but we're done after this. We get to calm the practice down. On your next exhale, release the posture. One more chaturanga or downward facing dog. Really nice today, you guys. We are going to add in half pigeon. We have a little bit of time. So we'll come into it. If you're not familiar with the modification, I'll show it to you. Inhale, right leg high. Then on the exhale, put your right knee on the floor behind your right wrist. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. He's trying to slide his right heel behind the left wrist. And then you can push into your blocks and stay open, or you can walk forward and fold, rest your forehead on your hands to your blocks. If this is just not working for your knees, not working for your hips, come onto your back and do a reclined figure 4. Just cross the right ankle over your left femur bone and take your shin. You'll weave your right arm in between your legs and take a hold of the shin ideally to get that deep stretch. If that's not working, you can go behind the thigh. It's the really similar stretches. They're getting into outer hip, outer glute. But if you do have knee issues, hip issues, often this is better variation. Keep the breath nice and steady. Couple more breaths here. Let it soak up that right hip. And then no matter which posture you chose, half pigeon or this reclined figure 4, you need to give yourself a little bit of release time. So from half pigeon, that might mean all the way back into down dog. If you're simply on your back, you can kind of pedal out your leg, get some circulation to return there. And then whatever pose you chose, same thing, second side. We'll be here for the same amount of time. Just know that it's really common for one hip to feel different than the other. They're 2 different hips. Don't forget about the breath. Let it be audible. Hopefully that sound that the breath creates calms and soothes your mind and your nervous system. Just a few more moments here. Take one more full cycle of breath in and out. And once you feel pretty even from right to left, usually your body calls you out of this posture, but time to come out, you know it. Get some movement, whether that's down dog. And if you're already on your back, you can stay on your back because we're headed into bridge pose. But sometimes one final down dog is a nice way to clear out the legs. So if you want to take a brick with you for more supported variation, find your block. Otherwise, let's measure this out together. So he's reaching his fingertips down towards his heels. They almost touch or they just barely graze. That's how close your feet are into your glutes. Then press into your feet. And on your inhale, lift your hips. You can slide the block under your tailbone region. You could interlace hands underneath you to create a shelf for your heart and get height through your chest. But only look up here. I know it can be easy to be tempted to look to your screen, but look just up. Take one more deep breath in. Lift your hips as high as they can go today. And if you did use the brick, exhale, slide it out, and return your spine to the mat. Now you could butterfly your legs if you'd like. Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm a bigger fan of the constructive rest with how we started, but I'll leave that up to you. Whatever it takes to release the low back. And let's just take a nice calming twist as we draw our practice to a close. Take a moment, knees into your chest. Maybe some self-love here. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a hug. Sometimes I like to do little circles with my knees in each direction to massage out and roll back. And then if you do have a very favorite twist that you'd like to use, I recommend that. Otherwise, nice and simple, legs bent to 90 degrees. So the knees are over hips. There you go. And then drop your knees to your left, and look to the right. Maybe you bump the bottom hip a little bit to the right so hips are truly stacked. And it may not seem very important, but it's really, I think it's really important to keep your legs perpendicular to your spine so that we're protecting this lower lumbar. Take 2 more breaths. And then change sides. Inhale through center. Legs are again at 90. He'll exhale, drop them to the right. And then perhaps he bumps his hips towards the windows. So hips are stacked. Anchor your shoulders towards the earth. You're not trying to jam them down, but you do want to work them towards the floor. Take about 2 more breaths on this side of the twist. And then from there, back to center with your legs. For a happy baby's pose, reach in between your legs with your arms and capture the insteps of your feet. So his ankles are over his knees and he's working his tailbone to the mat, back of the head to the mat. It can feel lovely here to rock side to side. We've been working hamstrings all the practice, so if you want to straighten one leg at a time or both. And I always encourage any final movement postures that are unique to your practice that get you where you need to go for the day. Otherwise, final Shavasana. Lie on your mat and be still. This is a posture too, friends, so don't cheat yourself of it. You've earned it, you've deserved it. This is the time for you to be held and cradled by the earth. So let go. Let the breath be natural, no more Durga Pranayama. Allow your tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth and your teeth to separate slightly. Body sinks heavy into the earth. Take a couple of slightly deeper breaths here. Start to draw some awareness back into your surroundings and the sensations within your body. And then bring yourself awake with a few flickers of movement into your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs. A little bit of movement with your head side to side. And on your next inhalation, a full body stretch. Take your arms overhead, get longer through your legs, and then turn onto your right side into a fetal position. Bend your knees, rest your head, and just give yourself a few moments here. I'm trying to keep the nervous system quiet and calm. And there's no need to rush the exit. In fact, if you have the gift of time and want to stay longer in your Shavasana or on your side, I encourage you to do so. Otherwise, those of you who need to move forward with your day, slowly press into your hands and make your way into whatever comfortable seated position works for you. Sukhasana, hero's pose. Fold palms at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Let's all bow forward together this final time to close our morning practice. I thank you so much for joining me, for tuning in. It was an honor and a privilege to lead this practice. Remember, when you do yoga, it's not just for you. You do yoga for the entire world. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhuvantu. May all beings in all the worlds be happy, free of suffering, and at peace. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, friends, thank you so much again for joining. We have some other classes going on today, so tune in. We'll also, we've recorded them, so we will also post them on YogaPod Fort Collins Facebook page so that you can continue your practice at your leisure.